to make a ton. Make 3 or 5 or, or 10 if you can afford the stuff for 10, but 5 is plenty. And then put them out in places where you can reach a large number of people, like at the entrance into and out of a subdivision, or a junction of a couple of major roads. And of course, you have to make sure that the information on the sign is big enough that people can read it as they go by. But then, if it doesn't work, if you don't get any calls from that sign there, pick it up and move it. And I give it about 3 days. If you're going to get a lead from a sign, you're usually going to get it in 2 or 3 days. And if you don't get a lead from that sign, then pick it up and put it somewhere else. Throw a dart at the map and try a different place. And then that way you also don't risk that the county or the municipality is going to come and take your sign down because they think it's trash or or whatever. Because I don't know if you have that problem there, but some places here we have that problem where you can't leave a sign unattended for more than a couple of days anyway, and then they come and throw it away, and then owners get upset because they've spent money to make the signs, and they just get thrown away anyways. But it's signs are a really easy way to reach a lot of people quickly. Yeah. And again, if you don't get a sighting, just pick it up and put it somewhere else.
That's a great tip too, because a lot of times you don't know what direction your dog went in, and you might think, he went this way, and concentrate on that particular area, when in fact he did not go north, he went south. That's a great tip. 3 days, and then move it if you don't have any sightings. Yep.
And even if you do move it, and the people, if your sign was in an area where the dog does appear, then the people that have seen the sign will usually go and look online. They'll think, they'll go, oh, okay, well, I remember seeing that sign, and maybe they've posted online. So moving the sign is usually doesn't ever backfire on you. But that's how with this border collie we're getting the sightings now, because the lady that's been helping the owner, she's just very diligent about those signs, and when we start to get an idea where the dog is, pick up the signs and put them into a new location, and bingo, we get a bunch of calls. And if we put them in a place, she puts them in a place where she doesn't get any calls, then she just picks those ones up and puts them somewhere else. But yeah, some of those breeds can be they're so smart. Those dogs are so smart, and and it's not that they want to be lost forever either. It's just that they learn how to live on their own, and you have to be thinking as quickly as they are, and. I think my longest border collie was 8 months. And
really?
Wow. And it had gone 75 miles, but was still successfully trapped and caught. This one that we're doing now, she's already gone about 20 miles from where she went missing from.
Wow. Yeah, and that's one thing I think, the whole looking at the shelter websites, in certain cases it doesn't help. Sometimes we'll tell people, after it's been a certain amount of time and they have tried and done everything and feel like giving up, we'll tell them to just go on Pet Finder, pretend like you want to adopt a pet, and enter in your dog or cat's exact criteria, so that anytime a cat or dog matching the description of yours comes up, you're going to get an automatic email. So, that is one helpful thing, and that it might work, it might not, but it's just another thing you can do, besides something else, and it doesn't take any effort other than to set it up one time and then hope that you get an email, because if the pet goes 75 miles, it's not a shelter you're visiting every day if it does get picked up,
Right. Yep. I absolutely agree that there's some, breeds and dogs. I mean, I would do that really quickly. I would be doing those alerts really quickly because they're much more likely to get picked up and end up in a shelter. And doing that and searching, Facebook pages and things like that is time well spent.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know right now, with the COVID thing, the shelters are all on different hours, and it's really hard. So we know that they do put them on the web pages, and then in turn, they go up on these sites. So, and we always try to let people know what these sites are and what to do. But they need to help themselves, and that's the point of this, putting all your eggs in one basket. You really have to, as a pet parent with a lost pet, you have to take the initiative and not let everyone else do it for you. And that's one of the frustrating things sometimes. And I know that it's, people get sad, they give up, but you can't ever give up hope. Not when we hear the stories of the reunions after 6 years and 5 years and 10 years, you just can never give up. Even if it's as simple as having that alert or something else, or, I don't know, but just never give up. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So what else? Is there any other good tips? These are all great tips that you're giving. Yeah.
I always sometimes I think like just if you're missing your pet, just having somebody to talk to that is kind of objective and you can kind of just run ideas past them. I think is really helpful. Just like so that you don't get caught up in the emotion of it all, and somebody can say, yeah, that sounds like it's possible. And we always try to steer people to spend the majority of their time and their resources on what probably happened to their dog, instead of what possibly could have happened, which is infinite, right? So, and then that way they have a better chance of a successful recovery. So sometimes just bouncing those ideas off of somebody that is objective, I think is really helpful. And like a small, fluffy, friendly little dog, much more likely that dog got picked up than mixed breed, larger dog that may or may not. To some people might appear threatening, although he may be the friendliest dog in the world, but may appear to be something that they're not going to want to take home to their other dogs or their kids.
Right.
That dog is more likely to either be out there on their own or has ended up at an animal control facility because animal control has been called out to catch the dog.
Right.
So, yeah, I always think that if somebody, and we do that amongst ourselves all the time, we bounce ideas around so that we can try to be logical and not emotional. And that way we can give the best advice.
Yeah. Well, Kathy, these are all really good tips. And, of course, we are already at the end of our time. So could you let everyone know how to look up? I mean, you've got all these stories and all these excellent tips on your webpage. If you could tell everybody about how they could look them up.
Yeah, it's actually lostdogsofamerica.org. And that's our website. And our Facebook page is Lost Dogs of America. Our Gmail address is lostdogs, say this wrong, lostdogsofamerica@gmail.com. Yes, that's it. And so it's spelled out and then at gmail.com. And anybody that is having a difficult time with a case, I am certainly happy to shoot me an email. I'm certainly happy to look at it and talk to them. And I enjoy doing that. I talked to a lady in Alabama yesterday. I know I've done several from this radio show that have heard us talk and then have sent me an email and talked to the people. And some have recovered their dogs and some haven't. But at least I hope that, they've given them some hope and some helpful tips.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Kathy, for being with me today. You'll be back again next month with a different topic, and I hope that you'll be safe until then during this time of pandemic crisis craziness, I guess, right?
Yes, you too. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So remember that a lost pet can't tell anyone where it lives, so please be sure they are microchipped and wearing their ID tags. And if they are chipped, be sure that microchip is registered and up to date. Thanks for joining us today, and until next time, take care and keep your pets safe.